What's going on, guys? Spud here, and welcome to episode 27 of the Roundup. In today's episode, Atlanta FaZe win -1, and all the talk of them being washed suddenly is faded. A brilliant performance from all four of these guys, including Celium in the final, but Abeezy was your MVP for this event. We'll be rounding up the entire -1 tournament, including Thieves obviously losing their first match, Minnesota Rocker with back-to-back reverse sweeps, and the Carolina Royal Ravens beating Optic to get to the final. We'll also be doing our predictions for next week's CDL matches as we go back to the online qualifiers ready for Major 1. And we will also be doing a little bit into Shotzzy, as he has been very vocal in recent days. If you do enjoy this episode of the Roundup, please do drop a like and subscribe if you're new. I'll be honest, so far looking at this season, so far it hasn't gone too well in terms of how many views. The viewership of the Roundup for the 2025 season hasn't gone too well. So I appreciate the people that are stopping by still and watching these videos. It's really appreciated. And yeah, without further ado, let's just get straight into it. So, we're going to start with our first match of the minor, and it was Minnesota Rocker versus Gentlemates, and Gentlemates still haven't won a game this season. And they lose 3-2 here to the Rocker in a reverse sweep fashion. If you have a look at the stats here, Lynn's obviously played quite well. Sky's played quite well for Gentlemates. Priester, though, again, really poor. In my opinion, he shouldn't even be on a CDL team after his performances for Boston Breach last year. But he managed to find his way onto this one. Everyone played well on the other side, and Gio was given the MVP. Most damage in the lobby and the highest KD, so that's fair. But it was a very good start from the mates, but after the search and destroy, it was a very dominant win for Minnesota Rocker, who did take that Hacienda, because obviously this was the first time we'd seen Hacienda in the pool as well, since the return of the league. So they obviously played a hard point, which mates won, and a S&D, which was won by the Rocker ultimately, and got them into the quarterfinal stages of the minor. Now, obviously, the only way you can get any benefit of this tournament is if you get into the semi-finals, which obviously they did not. Did they do it, or did they not? Well, the Gorillas didn't, but obviously Minnesota Rocker will have to find out if they did. Obviously, if you've already watched, if you know what happened, then obviously you'll know what happened. Then we had Miami Heretics versus Atlanta FaZe. Now, some people actually had Heretics winning this, and after the first map, let me tell you, after the first map, I kind of agreed. I thought we were going to see a slamming here of FaZe. They just looked so poor. We talked about their scrims in last week's episode, but they managed to bring it back. A very close control, which looked like it was going to go Miami's way. There was a 1v4 in this map, which I'm going to have to show you because this was just so good.
Another one of his teammates falls. Can he find any more? No, it's all down to Sim. It's a 1v4 and it's soon to be over. Wait a minute, he's managed to make a meal of it. 20 seconds on the clock. Forward we go. Oh, and that, oh, never mind. It's 1v1. It's a 1v1. Sim. Can he do it? Against Metal. Oh, unbelievable moment.
So that is the first 1v4 of the season, I'm sure it is. And brilliant play from the MVP of last year, Simp. If we actually look at the stats, we didn't actually look at the stats. So, your Simp and Draza, very good in this series. I think everyone on that FaZe side played well. I mean, if you look at map 1, obviously, they didn't. But, yeah, everyone played well on the FaZe side. Real and Rencor and Lucky. I mean, Lucky had the damage, but not the kills. Real and Rencor did okay on the other side. But, yeah, it was a 3-1 win to FaZe, which saw them into the quarterfinals with a matchup against the LA Thieves. We went far down there. Right, where are we at? That's December. Then we had Optic versus the Falcons, obviously a new look Falcons side. And yeah, the first map was absolutely mental. I mean, like, mental. So, Optic won 3-0. The search and destroy, convincing enough. The control, a cakewalk. This was arguably the best map of the series the year so far, potentially, and it was Optic versus Vegas Falcons hardpoint, where Xnid broke the CDL record for kills in a hardpoint game. 52 kills from the young Saudi player. I mean, we talked about Rookie of the Year. My Rookie of the Year prediction was Super if he got into League. Obviously, if he doesn't get into the League, then I said it would be Rencor, but obviously Khalid Kicks was playing amazing on the Falcons. Is left for personal reasons for now. Xnid 52 kills. I'll be honest, the new two guys, Duam I think it is, Duam, and WXSL, very unconvincing. But Xnid was very good. Dashi, on the other hand, best player in the game. I'm gonna say it. Dashi is the MVP of the season so far. He is the best player in the game right now. Obviously, Dashi is my favourite player on Optic anyway. He has been for a couple of seasons. And I'm just so happy that he obviously won his ring, and now he's just playing absolutely amazing without people going, oh, but he's only won a couple of tournaments. Yeah, he might have still only won 4, but one of them was champs. So, yeah, really good series from Dashi. But yeah, this hard point was just crazy.
He's going for a big play though, since if he dies, yeah, now
he's like, give me 50, baby.
Well, I was worried if he makes that push, then his teammates die, they spawn out. But yeah, it's all going to come down to this P2. That first player into whom probably going to spawn out here. They're dropping at the wrong time. The map about to flip. Roxas has to try to do what he can. Able to find one, maybe that gets them there.
Oh, God, and that's what I was worrying about. You just have a moment like that where you've got position for P2. You don't win a single fight and you fall apart. Wixel, though, able to get a pick for you.
Nade hits.
6 points needed for the victory. They're going to clear everybody out. One more going to be in the back, though. It's going to be Hook. That's going to have to try to make the plays. He's going to spawn everybody else there with them. They'll hop into the point, though, does Vegas Falcons. 10 points now needed for the victory. Hook trying to go nuts. 2 pushing around the back to try and clear him out. They get him outside of water. Tied up 244, 244. 30 seconds still remaining on the hard point. Optic finding all the kills. You've got one last effort here to try and get in. It's going to be Roxas that I think will get there first. Can he get in to make the play? He's going to contest with 2:49 on the clock, but then he will.
He's going for
really close series. Yeah, but sorry, really close map 1. The series. I mean, Falcons were like 100-0 up, and I was just like, when that happened, I was like, what is happening? Like, I was genuinely so confused, like, with what I was witnessing. But yeah, well done to Falcons. Sorry, no. Well done to Falcons for contesting a really good map against Optic, but well done to Optic for obviously winning. Now, this was a bit of a surprise result. I thought Cloud9 would win, but I didn't think they'd win 3-0, and they beat the Surge 3-0. Everyone played well on the side of Cloud9. Hixie was the best player for Vancouver. This Surge team just isn't hitting the same, I think, as it did last year. Obviously, Abuz has not been as good, or Four's not been as good. And then it was obviously Hugh and Brezzy. The S&D was quite close. It was this close.
New York, it might be a straight 4v4 retake, and I think it will be. Here we go. Bomb plant to decide the map.
And choices to be made as well. You try to rat back through spawn. You got Nasty posted in a diabolical spot on patio. So C9, you don't want to take that route. You want to coordinate together and try to work through mid.
Lethal's tactical starting to run out. Here comes all the slide. Hixie saw them. Red dots populate the minimap at the pinch. We're in. Can Hixie find his? Toe-to-toe with Crep finds another 2. It's down to a boozer. Nasty now has to reinforce. 15 seconds on the bomb.
There's just no time. Someone's going to have to hop it in just a second. Still no one's going to be on it. Down to 10. You got to get to the bomb for the prayer, and Nasty is here. Has to win the first one, and he can't get it done. C9 with no time left on the clock. Win.
Very close, very close. But then after that, it was a breeze. Yeah, so yeah, well done to Cloud9, obviously, to get through to that round. I think before the season started, they were my prediction for the 4th best team. As of right now, I think it's the big 3 in Carolina Royal Ravens. But yeah, we'll have to see. Then we had our first quarterfinal, which was Toronto Ultra versus Minnesota Rocket, and another reverse sweep from Minnesota Rocket. Obviously, a really close map 1, a close control, which obviously the Rocker won, and then after that it was very dominant. And I was surprised that the Rocker won. but they did. You know, well done to Estrel and Nero and Gio for a good performance. Paul X didn't do too bad in the damage department. On the other side, it's not like anyone played well, but a very low input from Insight again. This is what he did last season. Beans has kind of taken Scrap's role, and he is doing really well in it. But yeah, Minnesota Rock are looking good. Let's say that right now. Minnesota Rock look good. I didn't think they were going to get champs. Now, obviously, I know you don't get any CDL points for this unless you get into the semi-finals, which obviously Rocker just did, so that helps them. But again, it's not like they get loads of points for it. It's not like they finish top 4 at a major and get like, you know, like 50 points or something, which like Gorillas did at Major 4 to get champs last year. Then we had Optic versus Boston Breach, a rematch of obviously the the first match of the second match of the season, and Optic do win this one 3-2. It is a very close series though with the Breach. If we look at the stats here, Dashi again with the Lamborghini in the back. Dashi MVP again for Optic. Hugh was really good this series, so was Kenny. Shotzzy played fine. Awakening struggled a bit. I think the stats showed obviously Snoopy played really well and so did Purge. Very close hardpoint, map 1, but it was Boston who took it. Even with Awakening dropping a 0.5. Then it went to a round 11 S&D, which was won by Optic. Dashi and Kenny playing well in that search. Then it was a very dominant control win for Boston Breach, who won, you know, the offense at Protocol, which is known to be difficult to win. Optic then managed to make it to a map 5 with a very good performance from Dashi, and then Kenny went absolutely crazy in that S&D to help Optic with the win. They might have had less kills than Boston, but Optic won the series, and that's the most important thing. And that they did win the series. And yeah, well done to Optic, obviously, for that, to get to the semi-finals, where they would face either the Carolina Royal Ravens or Cloud9. And the answer to that was the Carolina Royal Ravens in a 3-2 win, a round 11 as well. Very good series, this. This was a very, very, very good series. Look at how close these maps were, apart from the Hacienda S&D. But Sib is definitely struggling compared to like what we saw them at Champs. Look, he's been very good. He's been good this season anyway. I'm not saying he should lose his spot on the team or whatever. But obviously his role has slightly changed than when he was playing with Skies and Hydra and Kismet. TJ had a field there. But I think everyone played pretty well in this series. There wasn't any like standout negative performances. But Cloud9 did take the first map.
Good moves there. Nice coverage from TJ out of the hard point. TJ gives you 2. Somehow the bailout plays are there nearly every single time. Perfect awareness now from Slash. So the nades are over to the spawners. Here comes another. Catch. Enjoy that. Gwynderplat. Can he slow these players down? TJ on spawn as well. So it's the subs on the back line. The ARs to the front. Oh, what a win! Over to Vivid. Stay alive in the point. Big contest. Can't get any more out of it. C9 break.
Yo, Kremp is massive for that. Now you're going to have to sort of re-break. You get a little bit of time to set this up, and TJ thinking about the cuts, thinking about the spawners, thinking about the time, or maybe attach outer. Can't get them. Sim for 2, Kremp for 1, C9 still in the time.
This could be game. Oh my word, it's going to be close. It might be a single tick. Here we go. Trying to get inside. Just a contest is going to help. Mac can attach, find the kills. Oh, Kremp with the last one as well. Game.
Kremp was very hyped with that. That was a really good play from him. And then it was a Neslo. I never actually realised, but we'll watch this round 11 from the Ravens to win the series.
He could cause some damage here, Chance. Here comes the hit. He has no idea Vivid's above him.
Gwyn's job is just to get the info. Vivid's job is to get the kill.
Is that the info? No.
They lost the info. I don't think they got it.
It's hard to tell. What a snap. Will Gwyn send it? He's got the advantage. He's got the angle. And that should be it, Mac. This is the series. He plants it. And he has a frag. The dead nade. They enter the site. Mac has no idea. Are they going to hit the defuse one more time? We've seen this happen before.
Oh my god.
The hops from Mac. The quick check. But it's a classic. He could cause...
I tell you what, if Mac had played that, if Mac had perfected that, that would have been outrageous. Really good series. This was one of my favourite series, though, the Ravens Cloud9 one of the weekend. And then our final quarter-final match was Thieves versus FaZe. Now, I thought this would be a 3-0 to Thieves before the tournament started. Yeah, I was wrong. FaZe win 3-1. Abizi goes absolutely crazy. Too easy for Abizi, as they say, you know. Honestly, the maps that that Thieves won, the map that Thieves won was close. Because I mean, they were 2-0 down. They almost got 3-0 themselves, and they managed to reverse sweep that control. But it was very easy for FaZe, and they looked so strong. If we look at their stats, I mean, look at this, how much they outslayed them on the hard points. I mean, Dylan Envoy playing like he was on that Ultra team there. Scrap having a very poor series there as well. You know, compared to what he's used to. I mean, like map, I meant. Obviously, series wasn't great. It wasn't terrible, though. But, you know, the S&D, like, look at how good Abizi was playing in that as well. Most damage. Yeah. Envoy, not a great series. There was a few questions like, why is Envoy on this team? You know, because he didn't exactly play, like, great in MW3. But I think Envoy's been really good for them this season. So one match doesn't change that, alright? If we actually look at what was vetoed, though, I'm quite interested to see because I can't remember this. So Thieves banned Hacienda and FaZe banned Vault. Vault again. The banned Hacienda. So Hacienda was vetoed and so was Vault, and that was literally it. Bit of a boring vetoing, but there you go. And then we had our semi-finals on Champ Sunday, Rocker versus FaZe, and Rocker were 2-1 up, but they couldn't get the job done. 2 close hard points. But you know what? A massive credit to Rocker. They do get a few CDL points as well. I think this team can definitely make champs if they play like this all year, but that's obviously a long way to go. But they've surprised me. I think, yeah, Geo played well. Estriel played pretty well. Celium was pretty good here. I think everyone here played well on that FaZe side. I know Simp obviously got the most kills. He also got the most deaths on the team. So people, like, won't look at that, like... People will look at that and be like, oh, did he actually play well and stuff like that. But yes, he did play well. Then, you know, FaZe just iced up when it mattered most. And that's like a normal thing for FaZe. But Celium, Draza, you know, they were doing their stuff. The S&D and the control were really good from Estriel. And this was a close one as well, but Paul X definitely the weakling of this map. And then Estriel was the weakling of that map. But if we actually look at the breakdown for this, FaZe were already 5-1 up, so it was pretty much done at 3-0 anyway. But, you know, massive credit to Rocker because no one expected them to get that far, to be fair. Then we had Optic versus Ravens. And look, I thought Optic were going to win. Ravens hadn't lost before this. This one was quite an intense one with chirping up. And yeah, the Ravens win. The red card was very close. I mean, it didn't even... The timer ran out. If we actually look at the stats, nobody was positive on the Ravens side, but they won the match. And that's the most important. Stats don't matter if you don't win the game, in my opinion. So yeah, Gwyn played well. They all played well because they won the match. Kenny didn't do great, but he didn't do bad. I thought, again, Dashi was Optic's best player in this series. I thought Hugh and Shotzzy played really well. Kenny did okay, but not good enough to win, unfortunately. And yeah, we'll show you the ending here of this map in the series.
Carolina on the offense. Win another show-stopping map, 12-5. Full flood right on in. Hook, stun will land. He was just looking for the information. Look at Shotzzy. He's already playing around the backside of this play. Trophy system down for Carolina, but what does Shotzzy want to do with the timing here?
Yeah, he's not going to flank Zip. You know that angle is definitely being watched. You just want to make sure
And we're given the information that everyone's in towards the site, but Slasher finds the first blood.
Trophy system should be in place here to keep this Carolina post plant safe. Here comes the flood from the front door, though. Gwyn tag. Slasher finds the opener, traded away. Kenny, Shotzzy finding the kills. It's just down to Kenny, and boy, would this be a time for him to come alive. 1v2 situation. Vivid playing the jump up, just looking for the info. TJ on the cross. There's the info gathered. Stun avoided. TJ shots. Gets Kenny down to half HP. 13 seconds. You got to make a move. Vivid still seen in the back. It's just down to the pistol. Shot's not good. My goodness. Carolina.
And yeah, if you saw that picture there, Gwyn, there it is. Gwyn obviously flipping the birds, because obviously, like we're going to talk about, Shotzzy has been chirping up a lot in recent days. As well, I will also mention something else when we talk about the the drama post and during this minor tournament as well. But we're going to first talk about the final, because that was the main one. FaZe versus Ravens. I expected FaZe to win this, but I thought Ravens would give them a good game. And it was the hard points weren't close. The S&D though was close, and the control was also close, but it was won by the Ravens. 3-1 to FaZe, and Celium here. Draza had a bit of a stinker, but his team came up when it mattered. Celium 1.5, Simp 1.3 pretty much. Abeezy with a 1.0. And yeah, massive congratulations to FaZe on winning the minor tournament. I mean, it's nothing like outrageous for them, but they get 20 CDL points and 20, I think it's 20 CDL points, but you obviously get $20,000, so $5,000 each for a few online matches. You can't really complain. And we're going to show the winning moment right here.
Hard point now in their hands. Can you bring down Tej? No, nice coverage from Vivid. So you're not out of the woods just yet, FaZe. You are close to the win, but Ravens, they've technically got the map.
I mean, they've done a great job on P1. The sort of theme of P1 is you have to keep active track of spawns to know what direction the player on hill has to chow from. And I mean, they're trying to fight for this P1 time as much as they can, but long term, they've just been completely destroyed on P2, and they're losing the gunfights along the way. Gwyn picks up one over by Secret. Him and TJ trying to work together, and they're converging around this new time. You can swarm on P2. You have the numbers for a moment, but you gotta get these trades.
FaZe once again, it's full throttle in the garage, and that is it. P2 is going to be the absolute death knell here for the Ravens, unless you can get a break. The first and nearly only break they've seen here, and they're not going to get it. That's going to be that, folks. Last hit, last chance, and last stat pad here for Atlanta FaZe. Hard point now in there.
Yeah, so well done to FaZe on winning the minor tournament. It's a shame there's only two minor tournaments in the year, minor 1 and minor 2. My honest opinion on the minor tournaments, it's something nice to have been brought in, but it just doesn't feel like it's nothing that you're gonna so excited. Like when the majors, like the day before major starts, I'm yes, the majors tomorrow, champs is tomorrow, EWC's tomorrow. With the minors, it's just a little extra, so it's not that they want you to be excited for it, but it doesn't really have that that competitive adrenaline that I would like it to have had. But it's a nice addition, and I would have preferred it if they'd done an extra one as well. But yeah, well done to FaZe. Obviously, MVP went to Abeezy. I would just agree with that. I don't really have with the majors. I have someone in mind. So Shotzzy deserved it at champs. I thought Sib? I think no, Kismet at Major 4 should have won it over Hydra. Stuff like that, but that just varies. Now, we're actually going to talk about the drama before we do our predictions. First of all, why is it showing them? Right. So, Shotzzy put this after... I think this was after the match against Falcons, and then he put, oh, fuck it, we lost the break-off, let's kill her. Is he talking about Exnid in particular? Obviously, the 52 kills. And then he tweets after this, players getting payment cuts every year and wonder why. Fucking clowns. Most of y'all guys don't do shit besides collect a check. He's basically saying that no one except Optic players are putting effort into making content to promote and benefit and market the league. Then there was also an issue this week which has been deleted, so I have to talk about it rather than deleted, with LA Thieves and Optic regarding streaming scrims. So Optic wanted to stream scrims, LA Thieves said no. Shotzzy and Scrap having a bit of a back and forth. Apparently LA Thieves' coach also said they're not streaming this scrims with Optic. And that has kind of raised a lot of points recently. And then on the flank, Aches, obviously talking about streaming scrims and stuff like that. There's been a lot of drama this week, and it's kind of nice. We like a bit of drama. There's quite a few things I need to talk about that I actually forgot to mention at the start of the video. But yeah, ultimately he's saying that, like, you know, the reason that the cuts are going in is because there isn't enough money going into the league to make it beneficial for these esports organisations, so they can't afford to pay the players as much as they'd like to. Then Shotzzy says, 8s don't help this and that S&D. S&D 8s won me champs in every tournament I've ever won. He's calling the other players lazy here and saying that they're just finding an excuse not to play the game. Just big words. Then he said, gonna chill now, but you're at most CDL pros. Put the fries in the bag in a couple of years. Thank you. Wow. So he did. He's gone on a bit of a villain arc here. And then he said Boston were finally trying, and then we lost. But he's gone on a bit of a villain arc. He was then asked if Preddy's coming back. And he said no. Preddy's not coming back, so like forget about it. So he was asked about that. The other drama is also regarding accuracy and Benjanish seam on the flank. So if I load up the flank, this should come up. I hope. Also, yeah, Ilya's changed his name to Yoda. I wasn't actually going to mention that. Why? It's shit, in my opinion. Right, so yeah, this'll start it off. So, Ghosty has started a vote for Cloud9 to be blacklisted 1 week from pro scrims for snaking during their match. Then Accuracy, who's the coach of Cloud9, went onto the flank and then started swearing at Benjay Nassim because Benjay was trying to get his point across and Accuracy just wasn't having it. It was all on Accuracy and Cloud9 for snaking. It was shown Sib snaked on Hacienda at P2 where the car's moving on the hard point. But he was obviously not happy about it and took it out on Benjay Nassim, which was obviously not the right thing to do. But it looks like that they are going to potentially be blacklisted from scrims, which obviously, like, having no practice is going to affect their performance. That's just natural to happen. So we'll have to see what happens regarding that. Right, and that is regarding that part. Now, the other bit that I wanted to mention, and I actually, like I said, I don't have it, is Scrap. So after Scrap and Nadeshot, Nadeshot tweeted out he was very unhappy with Thieves after losing. Because obviously he put his own money into this team, into this God Squad. And then Scrap basically wasn't happy about the message. And he was like, what, do you think we're just not playing at all? And we play 10 hours a day and stuff like that. Because he's basically telling them, like, not to stop playing until Major 1. And then on Dope Check, which is Breaking Point's show, they were talking about like, does Scrap just have a negative mentality whenever he loses? Because we've seen it in the past, you know, Scrap has got to the final hurdle quite a few tournaments and hasn't won. Yes, he's won 2 majors, I get that. But obviously you remember Champs 5-0, Major 3 against Optic 4-0. Like, for someone that talks so much shit, he has to back it up a little bit more, in my opinion. Now, I love Scrap. I think he's a great addition to the league and stuff like that. He's an amazing player, one of the best ARs around. But I do kind of agree with Trey from Breaking Point's Dope Check saw that with that negative mentality sometimes, because Nadeshot is a serial winner, and that was the words that Trey used as well. He is a serial winner, so I think he should be taken into account a lot more than he is. Right, drama's gone. We're now going to talk about our predictions for next week's matches. So we've got how many matches this week? Sunday, so 9 matches this week, 3 on each day. Gentlemates versus Cloud9. I'm going to go 3-1 Cloud9. I can't see Gentlemates winning at the moment. I did predict them as the flop, but I didn't think they'd be this bad. And then we have a -1 rematch for the next 2 matches. Falcons versus Optic. I'm going to go 3-0 Optic. Rocker versus Ultra. I'm going to go Revenge 3-1 Ultra. Surge versus Falcons. I'm going to go 3-1 to Surge. Cloud9 versus Miami Heretics. I'm going to go 3-2 to Cloud9. And Boston Breach versus Royal Ravens will be a good game, but I'm going to go 3-1 to the Royal Ravens. Then we have Sunday's matches. We have, oh my word, we have Thieves Optic on Sunday. Wow, and I didn't even know that. Gentlemates versus Ultra. 3-1 Ultra. Thieves versus Optic. Three-1 Thieves. Kenny and Hugh have to perform because Dashi and Shotzzy will, especially Dashi. Envoy needs to perform for them. I'll go 3-1 Thieves. And Rocker versus FaZe. I'll go 3-1 FaZe. So, that is going to be the end of this episode of the Roundup. I really hope you enjoyed. FaZe are your -1 winners. Abeezy's MVP. Will they carry this form now going into the rest of the online qualifiers and then obviously Major 1 in 3 weeks' time? We'll have to see. Thank you so much for watching though. I do really appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day for when you watch this. Obviously it'll be out tomorrow at 6 PM. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.